Hi Corey, how you doing? Um, this is my entry into your contest, and I think I'm kind of a recent subscriber to you. I'm not sure, but I've been trying to catch up on a lot of your posts. Um, Congratulations on your 100 subs. It's always fun to get those milestones, and 100 is kind of the first big one. Actually, I was shocked when I got 50. So I had 50. I'm what? 50 people? Oh well. Anyway, so great question, and it's also a horrible question because it's that what's your favorite record? Well, what's my favorite record today? Well, if the vinyl Genie could come out and give me anything I wanted right now, there's a lot of things I could ask for, as I'm sure a lot of people would respond that way too. But two things keep popping up in my mind, and I'm going to mention both of them because they're both to do with kind of the same album, kind of. And being a big Beatles fan, it's of course a Beatles record, and it's the Beatles' Rubber Soul. Now this is an original UK pressing. It's kind of double bag, so I'm not going to take it out, but it does have the good old Parlophone, black and yellow, and you can kind of see the flip back here, there, see right there. So it is the real thing, the real deal, the real original stereo. Actually, this is mono. Take that back. This is a mono copy. Don't know my own record collection. But there's two variations of this album that I would love to have, and the Genie can pick whichever one the Genie wants to give me. No, I don't care. And the variation of it is on the UK side. It's the loud cut. Now, I don't know all the details, but I got my cheat sheets down here. I'm going to refer to them if that's okay. But the Rubber Soul loud cut, basically it was mastered and it was cut loud and slightly distorted. It's you don't want it because it sounds good. You want it because it's a rarity. Very few of them were actually pressed before the mistake was caught, and then they recut it and pressed the ones that we all know and love now, like this one right here. And it's hard to tell other than putting it on and listening to it. And comparing it to one that you know is a standard issue like this one. The only other way you can tell that it's a loud cut is if you look in the dead wax, and the dead wax on it. Like I said, I'm having to cheat here, but yeah, you have to compare the information that's stamped in the dead wax. And on the original here, the dead wax on one side is XEX 579-1. Flip side has XEX 580-1. Actually, I take that back. That is the loud cut information. That's how you can tell you got a loud cut, is if you have those stampers in the dead wax. Those are the numbers for the loud cut. For a regular release that comes out, it's actually XEX 579-4 and 580-4 on different sides. So that's one way to tell. And it's not really, a lot of people say that's not really a first pressing you want to own because you don't want to listen to it. It sounds really harsh. The vocals are really stretched. They just don't sound very good. In fact, somebody referred to it as sounding like a really badly mastered CD that was put to vinyl. So, but because it was like a very first pressing and it was a mistake and very few of them were made, it's kind of something I'd like to have. Yeah, even if it's not something I'd want to listen to. So that's kind of one of them. The other is the US version of Rubber Soul. UK, US. So what is it about the US version of Rubber Soul? Well, this one isn't it, and one of the quick ways you can tell it isn't it is because right here, this is a stereo copy, and right here it says, whatever it says, new improved. I shouldn't make videos in the dark. New improved full dimensional stereo. But it's here in the photograph made it very difficult to read. So one way you can tell you have this version that I want, I'll tell you what's special about it in a second here, is they put it up here. That's like a quick way to tell from the reading that I've done online trying to research it. That's a quick way to tell, but there's also stamper information. I won't bother you with the stamper information. But there is stamper information. There's two different versions of it that have two different stamper information on it. That if you can find the stampers with those numbers, there's a pretty good chance you got it. Again, you got to listen to it to hear if it's a special version of it or not. And it's called the Dexterized version. I'm trying to remember the name of the person. The name of the person is Dexter. Not just because he's my cat's name. Speaking of Dexter, yes, Dexter is sleeping. Let him sleep. So that's loud cut information. So I did a little bit of my homework here before I did anything else, but gosh, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the guy's full name, but most of these were pressed in Los Angeles. There were some on a Capitol subsidiary label that were pressed in New York on the East Coast. So this is known as the Dexterized version, or sometimes the East Coast version. And what's special about it is Dexter mixed in or added a layer of reverb. And Capitol did that to a number of the songs and a number of the albums, early albums of the Beatles albums, but only a few, I don't know how many, but relatively few compared to how many were released from the West Coast, have the Dexterized version. Yes, we're saying your name. Have the Dexterized version that has the kind of this layer of reverb throughout the entire album. It's subtle. On some songs you can hear it more than others. Go to YouTube. Hey, you're on YouTube. Put in Rubber Soul, Dexter, or Dexterized, or East Coast, and you will find song samples that people have uploaded that have this extra reverb on it. This seems to be a little bit tougher to find. I've seen the Loud Cut UK first issue of Rubber Soul. Trying to get down, buddy? Come on. On eBay. Now and then, I'm going to help him out here. Hold on a second. He's looking like he wants to make a jump. Say hello again. More Dexter. Okay. It's not a cat video. That was Dr. Deadwax. I've seen a number of the Loud Cut UKs on eBay and go for big bucks. But I haven't, I don't search every day, but I haven't come across a Dexterized US Rubber Soul. So that's kind of one. Actually, if I was going to choose between the two, kind of like to have this. Kind of like to have the Dexterized version of this guy. One, because, I grew up with the US version of Rubber Soul. I think it's a better, I think it's actually a better album than the UK Rubber Soul. UK Rubber Soul is great, and it's definitely the official version of the album. But the songs that were taken from, there's a couple of songs left over from Help that got added on here that just fit just perfectly. A couple songs taken off that didn't really fit with the rest. I think for continuity's sake, this just sounds so much better as the US. Okay, well, I'm getting way off topic here. But the point is that Dexterized version that was pressed over in New York with the added reverb on it is just be something. It's just so it's almost like it's just difficult to find. It's kind of like a treasure hunt because there's all these clues that you have to look for to find it. But one of the biggest clues is up here is where they put all the information about being stereo, and of course it has to be from 1966. So and and then just whatever's on the stamp. There's a lot of things you got to look for. You never know when somebody could have slipped one, or sometimes they have older jackets and they put discs in the older jacket, so maybe not all of them got into a jacket that has the stereo information pressed up here in the white border. you know. So then you got to go back and pull out the record and look at it and, get the vinyl just right. So I actually checked this one, even though it doesn't have this. And one side has the correct stamping information, the other side doesn't, so that's not it. But anyway, gosh, it's gone too long. My God, 10 minutes. Anyway, congratulations on the 100 subscribers and for having your contest. And one of these days I'm going to have a contest too. So anyway, see you later.